You may call it an existentialist crisis or having a dilemma. I mean, you're coming of age, because when you are in your teens and stuff, you don't think about these things. But now, when I look at the world, and maybe this is evolution, maybe evolution dictates that the immoral person, the greedy, the corrupt, the selfish, selfless man will rule the world. Maybe that's what civilizations are all about. Maybe.
Well,
This is my opinion.
and this is why we have to work against it. Now, the problem is a lot of if there was a film by William Cameron Menzies called Things to Come, based upon an H.G. Wells story. It was made in the late 30s, right before World War II, right before the bombing of London. And in it, after an apocalypse, a group of scientists goes around and they try to fix the world. And of course, these scientists are white men who fly around in sort of UFOs and try to fix the world and whatnot. Now, things like Doctors Without Borders. Now, that's a good thing. But by the same token, you cannot go around saying, well, Western culture produced democracy, Western culture produced this, without acknowledging the negatives that it produced and saying, look, we have to find some new ways. Let's take the best of Western culture. Let's take the best of Eastern philosophies, Buddhism. Let's take the best of, and Buddhism itself has a bloody history. The first peoples in the Himalayas were not Buddhists. The Buddhists wiped them out. And so, but you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge that the United States is built on murder. It's built on death and racism and bigotry. But the U.S. also has done good things. Every country has. Every culture has. There's good and bad. Some, like the Nazis, the good is maybe only 1, 2, 3, 4%, and it's 96% bad. Some, there might only be 5 or 10% bad. But you have to acknowledge the good and the bad and say, well, this hasn't worked. For example, here in the U.S., I could die. If I don't have money, I could die from some disease. In Europe, you can't. No one in Europe dies because of lack of medical care. But here in the U.S., people care more about money. That's wrong. That has to change because I or some poor person, some homeless person deserves to have as best a life as they can. They might not do anything. They probably won't do it. The guy who's a homeless bum who has, cancer of the pancreas, even if he gets that removed, will probably spend the next 10 or 15 years till he dies doing nothing. But he should at least have that opportunity, and we should at least say that we value this individual enough to give him a shot. He'll probably blow it. That's the way most people are. They will blow the opportunities they have. But give him a fair shot.